30-second span. What did he do there?
Well, he's done a great job of understanding when it's time to score and when it's time to distribute. And at that point, I think they just made a 3-point play. He came right back and took advantage of it and went to attack mode. He felt that. So that's what he's done well this year.
Coach, you were one game away for the couple of the season poets to be a leader in the East Championship.
We're one game away from halfway. We're over halfway, I think, right? We're like in the 50s, right? We played some 50-some games. So we're more closer to 2/3 than half, I think. My math is right. But the championship is way down the road. There's 5, 6, 7 teams in this league in the championship. And if we're going to be one of those, we want to continue to do what we did tonight and play good defense. We have some improvement that we need to do. If we do, we'll be in good shape. If we don't, we'll be in early summer.
What areas do you think the team can improve on in the second half of the season?
Defense.
The defense always seems to improve historically throughout the season. Is that something you anticipate going into the season?
Well, I do. I'm hopeful and confident that will happen. That's been the character of our team, that it tightens up and the understanding gets better and better as the year goes. So hopefully that'll happen again this year.
Do you expect to have this record at this point of the season?
No. We didn't start the season saying, hey, we're going to try to be in this position. We just wanted to play as well as we could. And I think we've been fortunate because we haven't had much injury. And a lot of good teams have had serious injuries for good amounts of time. I think that's probably one of the reasons that we have a little bit of a cushion.
It seems like you're still able to keep that sort of almost underdog status no matter what. You're going into the All-Star break potentially with single-digit losses. People are still all talking about the Heat and the Lakers.
I think they're sexier. It's the kind of world we live in. There's more flair involved in that. The Lakers should get the attention. They're NBA champions, and the teams. Boston's the current NBA champion. A couple years ago, but recent NBA champion. They deserve it. They played well, and there's a lot of buzz in Miami. That's par for the course. It's usually been like that in San Antonio. It's kind of far away from everything else. I think we kind of like it that way. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, just another night where we really struggle offensively, and their defense was there. Give them credit. But man, we missed countless wide open shots. Nobody's here between us and San Antonio, and we got to make those shots. And we'll keep practicing, we'll keep shooting. But this is kind of two games in a row where we just missed so many easy shots. We missed dunks, we missed wide open shots. So we'll just keep working at it, keep practicing it. This is a terrific team that we played against. They have the best record in the league for a reason. They don't beat themselves. They are pros. They go about their business, and they're very methodical in their approach. But we can't shoot 34% and expect to win a game like this against this team.
Avery, right before they have Sasha hits 3, they do Wayne, and then Parker goes.
Yeah, and that's one of their trademarks. They do a good job of scoring off their offensive rebounds, and they do a good job of closing out quarters, and definitely closing out the halves. And Parker's the reason. He's number 1 in points in the paint for a reason. You saw it tonight. But we just didn't do a good job of getting what we call 2 on the ball, getting some support in that situation.
What's up with Duncan?
Well, he seemed like his legs were fresh early in the game. Pop called that quick 20. He had about 11 points, I think, in the first quarter. He set the tone for him. He was real physical, good defense. And really just, we just didn't have much of an inside game tonight. They did a good job of trapping us, giving us different looks, and we'll just have to go to the video and hopefully improve on some of our mistakes tonight.
Coach, you have been doing quite well against Western Division teams. Is this offense maybe a mental thing when they're facing a team like this?
Well, again, we got to do a better job of moving the ball. Sometimes maybe our passes weren't on time and on target. You've heard me use that term before. We got to do a better job of holding our position, breaking down the defense. So it's a combination of things. And then, like I said, when we are open, we just got to make our shots. In the NBA, if you get one wide open shot, you're in great shape. But if you get 10 or 15, you're in beautiful shape. And you got to really make the defense pay in that situation.
Okay.
What is it that makes them just so difficult?
They move the ball very well, and we allowed them to get a pretty good amount of second shots. Second opportunities led to threes. I think we were a bit slow on our rotation to the second side when they swung the ball. Like I said, I think for the most part though, second shots killed us.
You guys have been shooting the ball pretty well. What was just the difference tonight?
I myself definitely didn't put the ball in the basket. It was tough. But I think it was mostly defensive for the most part. Like in transition, Tony did a pretty good job of getting the lane. Man did a great job of getting the lane. I think myself and other bigs weren't really there to contest the rim.
How impressive were they to you? Just being obviously the best team in the league.
The majority of the guys have played together for a long time, and you can tell just the way they move the ball, there's nights where we move the ball pretty well, and I think it's something we want to emulate.
Is there any sort of a measuring stick you look at as where you have to go when you watch them play?
Definitely, record-wise, they're the best team in the league right now, so that's what everyone wants to be.
Looked like Tim was giving you the old school Tim Duncan early in that game.
It was tough. I tried to keep him from getting middle, and he spun back a couple times and hit a couple bank shots. I felt like they were tough shots. They were good looks for him when we went down.
Scores in like 4 seconds, 3 points play.
Yes. That's tough. We got to get back and kind of create a wall.
They know each other well, but now you have to really do a lot of things about it. They know each other so well. Is that kind of what this is? And they've been around together, so what is this kind of
It seemed like you were going uphill kind of all night. You got within 6 there late, but you couldn't seem to get over it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough playing from behind, especially against a team that's that good. They'll let you make a run, but then they'll start picking up and playing well. And they continue to do what they do all the time. They move the ball, they screen for each other. No matter what the situation is, they play the right way. It's tough to come back with teams like that.
What happened in the second half? Because it did seem like you did a better job of controlling the penetration, then things opened up.
I think we missed some shots, some opportunities. We had to get better shots. We didn't play together. We didn't swing the ball. We needed to. We had good shooters, open, ready to make shots. And just not making extra pass kind of deflates the whole team on both ends of the floor. Step slower on rotation. It's human nature. It's not intentional. It's not something that's an excuse at all. At the end of the floor, you got to play. But it was kind of a snowball effect both ways, and it just tripped out.
46-7 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. They've been together for a long time. They play the right way. It shows, it doesn't matter how athletic you are, how young you are. This game is a game of, team and skill and angles and knowing each other and togetherness, and they exhibit all that.
When you look at a game like this, is it a demonstration of kind of how far you need to go to get to reach a level?
We understand that we have a long way to go, and we'll continue to work. I think the past couple of weeks we've been playing some good basketball for the most part, just trying to build on that positive energy and play so well with the Knicks. And here tonight, so hopefully we go to Boston for the All-Star break. All-Star break, play well, come back with some positive energy at the end of the season.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Are you impressed by them? Just because they are the best team in the league.
I wouldn't say impressed. They met expectations. They play well. They play together. Defensively, they're pretty sound in their rotations, and like I said, they do a great job moving the ball and playing with one another.
It seemed like you were going uphill all night, or you got within 6 and you couldn't seem to get over it.
Yeah, that's the way that's the way they are. They do a great job of closing out quarters. They did it in the first, second, and the third quarter until separate themselves and get themselves momentum going to the next quarter.
When they're closing out quarters, though, what are they doing specifically that gets them that extra burst?
Small plays. I mean, just momentum plays. You know, I think it was Tony Parker and one right before halftime, Ginobili hit a couple threes in the third quarter. Just kind of separate themselves, and you know, they took that and push it towards momentum to start the next quarter.
How much was that Tony Parker coach play at the end of the half?
It was. I mean, you know, we made a solid play scoring right before the half, and then we give them a 3-point play. I can't remember what the first quarter play was, but they had a couple plays there too, you know, right at the end of the quarter. And you know, just kind of deflated going to halftime, knowing that you know, gave up a play that really changed the complex of the half.
When you look at those guys, you kind of sit there and go, they're pretty impressive.
I've seen it before. I mean, they've been doing it for years. I mean, they played together for years. They know one another extremely well. They're battle tested, and I said that what makes them so impressive is that they don't really care who scores. They move the ball, and whoever gets the open shot, so be it. And I think that's what makes them so good.
Seems like everybody tonight had a problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the leading guy. One of the leading guards scoring in the paint for a reason. I mean, he's always been tough. I mean, even in my Dallas days, it's hard to keep him in front. You got to do your best, but you got to try to make him shoot jump shots. But when he doesn't want to, and he's got his mind made up, just getting in the lane, he's tough to cover.
But no, he told me it was going to be a one-game thing. So
when you get one game basically off like that, can you really feel the difference?
Well, the fact is that it could have been the 4th and 5 nights, and I would have been very tired. And the only difference was that he wanted me fresh for the 4th quarter. That's what he said. So I only played 8 just because the way the game developed. And it wasn't planned.
But you only played 8. I'm wondering if you felt a little pressure or anything tonight. Or
well, I think that if I could have played 38 instead of 8, today I was going to be much more tired. So it kind of helped, really.
How impressive is this? What kind of road trip you've had to play this well in a game like that with 7 games into the trip?
Yes, I was kind of shocked. Not that we won or we played well, but the kind of effort and hustle in the 3rd and 4th quarter, we really played hard and rotated very well, went hard to the rebounds. So it was a very complete second half, really.
Pop talked going into the trip about making this trip about defense. The last 3 games, is that kind of how you want to play defensively?
Yes, we're improving. I think that our offense were a little bit didn't provide as much as it was. Philadelphia game, Portland, and a few other games. But defensively, we've been pretty steady and consistent. So we are happy about that.
How surprising is Gary for this season? Nobody seems to have known anything about him until he showed up at the workout.
It's true. I usually follow Europe, EuroLeague and games and stuff, and I read his name, but I didn't know what he could give us. They were telling us that he was a good shooter, and he could give us a lot coming from the bench, but you gotta really have to be in that situation. You gotta see him with your team, with your system and everything, and he's been pretty amazing, really. He has won some games for us, and sometimes he takes some shots that probably don't look that good, but they go in, and he's confident, so he's giving us a lot.
How quickly did it take him to earn the trust? Because I remember in the preseason you're drawing up plays for him to beat the Clippers.
No, I think it took a little more than that. But when the season started, probably there were a few games where he just came in and did his job and didn't say much, but he provided. And he slowly started to show what he could do, and of course when we see somebody that can really help and make you win, the rest of the team really jumps in.
¿Qué significa para ti